Selling your art online can be very expensive. All of the materials and costs associated with not only producing your products, but also packing, shipping, and even marketing your products can add up. But there are some things that I use to make the process not only cheaper, but also easier, so I'm spending less money and wasting less time. Disclaimer that I live in the United States, so some of these options may not be available in your country if you live somewhere else, but give these ideas a search because something similar might exist in your country that I don't know about. First is Small Business Resources from Peach Fuzz. I'm gonna give a shout out to another artist here, but the Peach Fuzz periodically releases incredible small business resources such as guides on getting started with wholesale, lists of manufacturers, digital downloads like financial statement templates, and much more. If you're just getting started or you feel totally lost in the non-artistic side of running an art business, these resources are absolutely invaluable and completely free. Free packing supplies. Some companies, like UPS and USPS, will send out free mailing envelopes, boxes, or even printable labels. Your options may vary depending on your account type, your type of business, some other factors, I'm not really sure. I've heard that making a business account can add more materials, and that some people have had to speak with agents or representatives to get things like thermal labels. Keep in mind that envelopes and boxes, such as these USPS priority mailers, can legally only be used for the shipping that's stated on the package, so these can only be used for priority mail shipping. And trying to circumvent that can lead to fines, so use your free shipping supplies responsibly. Saving your packing supplies. If you're anything like me, you receive a lot of packages. And if you're throwing out all of those shipping supplies, that can be pretty wasteful. If the box or the mailer is still in good condition, or you have one of those nice mailers from like Eco Enclose that has the second adhesive flap so that it can be reused, you can save them. You can also tell your friends and family to give you their packing supplies so that you can reuse them. Just don't be like me and hoard them without actually reusing them. So now you just have a closet full of boxes? Yeah, we don't talk about that. You can also stash stuff like bubble wrap or other void fill so that you can fill in the empty space in your packages. Switching to a thermal printer. If you're printing a lot of labels, you're gonna go through a lot of ink or toner, and that can get very expensive. Instead, you can swap to a thermal printer to save on ink, especially if you're shipping out a lot of packages. The printers themselves are not super cheap. I got mine for about $80, but I have heard, and I'm not totally sure if they're still doing this, that certain programs through, for instance, UPS will lend or even give you a free thermal printer. Also, if you're a content creator, sometimes companies like Munbin will gift thermal printers or labels in exchange for writing a review or posting a video. I haven't tried either of those things personally, so if you're more familiar with how either of those things work, leave a comment and we can all learn from your experience. Using a service such as Pirate Ship. If you're going through the USPS click and ship to send orders, you're losing a lot of money. Those are retail prices and not commercial prices. Okay, so commercial rates are built in now. Some companies, like Pirate Ship, just one example, have special deals with shipping providers that get you better rates on shipping. You can usually save a couple of dollars per package, which adds up quickly if you're shipping a lot of orders. Services through e-commerce platforms like Etsy, Shopify, and WooCommerce also can get you these special rates if your shop is hosted through those platforms. Sometimes I send out rewards to my patrons or packages to stockists, so I can't use those Shopify shipping rates because they're technically not store orders. In those cases, I turn to Pirate Ship so that I can still get those commercial rates. USPS Pickup. If your shipping provider is USPS, you can save the time it would take you to go to the post office by requesting a free pickup service. You can schedule it for free when you get your regular mail drop-off, or if you have a bunch of packages that need to be sent at a specific date and time, you can request a pickup for $25. I usually use the free one because they're coming to my house anyway. This has saved so much time, gas, and it also kept me safe and socially distanced during the peak of the pandemic. Your library. Oh my god, libraries are so underutilized. I didn't know this until recently, but some libraries have access to a huge variety of equipment like 3D printers, laser cutters, embroidery machines, and more. You can also use their standard printer if you just need to do a simple print job on plain paper. Some libraries are also equipped with software like the Adobe Suite. Different libraries have access to different resources, but check with yours and see what's available. You can also look outside of libraries by searching up makerspaces in your area and seeing what equipment they have. Plus, even if your library doesn't have access to a makerspace, equipment, or software, you can still check out books on art, business, and more. And with Libby or Overdrive, you can check out ebooks and audiobooks. I think you can also do DVD rental if you need, like, animation or film inspiration. Also, if you want to support your local library, even the simple act of getting library cards supports them because libraries are often funded based on demand. So the more people have library cards, the more the library can say, hey, all of these people are using our services. Government, please fund us. Support your library, folks. Free and open source software. By now, I think we're all tired of subscription-based software pricing, and while there are some great pay-to-own drawing and design tools out there, I've made videos on a couple of them, I also want to shed some light on several open source tools, such as GIMP as a Photoshop and drawing tool, and Inkscape as a vector design tool. Your needs may vary depending on what file types you need to export, especially if you're handing them off to collaborators or manufacturers, but this chart by xDanielArt has a list of software organized by type. So if you're familiar with the Adobe suite, you can look at this list and find the software that would replace that Adobe tool, for instance. You'd be surprised by the capabilities of some open source stuff. For instance, I recently learned that Inkscape has a plugin called InkStitch, which lets you create embroidery files for home embroidery machines without super expensive software. This is something that I've been looking into learning, and I have promised myself that as soon as I learn how to digitize a product in Inkscape, I will save up for a home embroidery machine. I gotta prove to myself that I'm gonna use it first, though. Card, Notion, or other free landing page builders. If you need a website or a portfolio, but you aren't ready for the hosting fees or the upkeep, Card is a great intro tool. It's popular with artists who take commissions or vend at events like Artist Alleys, and who want a place to host their portfolio in a free and organized way. It's surprisingly robust. You can also apparently turn a page in Notion into a standalone web page if you need to. I don't know how well this works with portfolio needs, but it's an option. And there are also several other landing page tools available. Heck, even something like Tumblr or WordPress can be used in a pinch. Post scheduling apps. One of my least favorite things about running an art business is marketing myself. This might be obvious based on how terrible I am at it, but one thing that makes this process a whole lot easier and saves a lot of time is scheduling apps like Later, Buffer, or Tailwind. Tailwind can even generate posts for you using their templates, which saves a ton of time and effort, and they can cross-post to Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. I also like that Tailwind generates a full content calendar and provides prompts to give you post ideas, but their posting platforms are limited to just the 3 that I listed earlier. Other schedulers like Buffer offer more platforms. Most of these apps have free plans that, while having limited features, should be enough to get you by. If you have any other resources that you'd like to share, leave them in the comments or hop over to my Discord server. We have several channels with resources from myself and other community members. Let's all learn from each other. If you missed my last video, I cover how I create product collections, from brainstorming to manufacturing. You can watch that video right over here. Till next time, stay weird.